The name Midtown Lunch comes from the original website that focuses on Midtown Manhattan, but for the Philadelphia edition, I get to explore all parts of Philadelphia. So that includes going to Super North Philly for Russian food and Polish food, South Philly for Italian, Cambodian, Indonesian, and West Philly for African food. So I get to go everywhere, and it's a really good way to see the city and everything that it has to offer. And every restaurant is different, and I'm not trying to rank them or anything like that. I'm just trying to offer a helpful perspective of what somebody could like about this place, and of what to order, how to eat it, what are the best dishes, what are the less good dishes, but I always try and be helpful. That's the bottom line when I'm writing. I also try to be funny when I can, so sometimes it's really corny puns or maybe like an inappropriate innuendo, but people seem to like that. At the end of each article, I will put a plus and minus section, which is sort of what somebody would say who liked this place and what somebody would say who didn't like this place. So it's sort of just to give it an unbiased overview that would be helpful for everyone. So I've been in Philly since 2009, but I grew up in Queens. I spent a lot of time exploring Queens and exploring different restaurants with my family. It's always been something that we've enjoyed together. And I recall in elementary school we were given assignments about writing short stories, and the ones that I think I wrote the best were the ones about food. I wrote about my first time eating a soup dumpling. I wrote about my great-grandmother and the matzo ball chicken soup that she made me. In elementary school, when all the other kids were having pottery birthday parties, I would take my friends to Flushing and we would have dim sum there, and I taught them how to use chopsticks, and we all ended up having a really good time, and I liked being able to show them something that was important to me and something that I really enjoyed. In high school, I wrote for the school newspaper, and I had a food column, and my guidance counselor at the time suggested that should be something that I pursued, and I sort of ignored her completely, thinking that that wasn't a practical career path. And she had the right idea, because writing about food is something that I enjoy a lot. And in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so after college I found a job at a nonprofit law office in Manhattan, and I really, really loved it. It was very meaningful. I got to work with clients and help improve their lives, and at the same time I started my own personal food blog where I would write about my food adventures in Manhattan, and I would go back to my roots in Queens and write about places that I had always been going to my whole life, just sort of the smaller, harder to find, mislabeled, or basement places that I could then sort of share with people. And at that time, one of my favorite food blogs was Midtown Lunch, because I was working in Midtown, and I sort of communicated with the editor and shared my stories, and we sort of formed a relationship. I decided to go to law school so I can continue nonprofit law, and I picked a law school in Philadelphia because I had a feeling that I would really, really enjoy the city. Once I got to law school, I didn't like it at all, but the editor of Midtown Lunch asked me to start a Philadelphia edition, and that ended up becoming a big part of my identity and a big part of my life. So I wrote about food, and I got to explore the city, focusing on lunches under $10, which is the Midtown Lunch motto, and it really gave me a deeper appreciation of the city. While writing for Midtown Lunch, I got to know a lot of food trucks around the city, and ended up writing my senior paper for law school about food trucks and food truck regulations, and got to go to their meetings and get a sense of what they were all about, their struggles. And because of that, I ended up working for the Philadelphia Mobile Food Association after law school, and I helped them with things like food truck events, and I was asked to come in to run the street fair for the Mount Airy neighborhood of Philadelphia. This is a food truck festival with over 50 food trucks. It was a magical night. We had 15,000 people. It was probably one of the hardest days of my life, but it was so rewarding to see it all come together. And after that, I was offered a full-time position at the organization that puts the event on, Mount Airy USA, which is a nonprofit community development corporation. So now I am fulfilling my ultimate goal, which was helping people and helping the community. And at the same time, I still get to interact with restaurants and food truck operators and organize fun events and make people happy. About a year ago, I went back to my elementary school party roots and I started to give Chinatown food tours. And I basically take groups of people around to some of my favorite spots, and it's been really fun. And my favorite part is really just watching people bite into a new food. People don't realize what we have here, and I like to be able to show that to them.